I was studying Korean for about 6 months, and I felt like I wasn't improving since I felt like I wasn't going anywhere. I was so tired of studying, and at this point, I feel like even Korean drama wasn't enough motivation for learning. They said learn Korean in 6 months. It's super easy. Just learn the alphabets and you got it. Watch Korean drama and copy what they're saying. But that didn't work for me. I didn't retain anything. I wasn't a fast learner and I got so discouraged. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to quit. If I quit, what am I going to do with all of the 30 books that I have and the textbooks that I paid for? I mean, have you ever felt this way about a language? Slump 101. How did you get out of it? Please leave a comment. What I did to stop getting discouraged and how I fixed my attitude. The first thing was I found someone who shared the same passion. I found someone to talk to in Korean. I found a Korean tutor. I visited Korea. I made some cute, effective notes. I created better study habits. I got more organized. Stopped thinking that it was impossible, and I stopped thinking that I'm not improving, and I stopped making excuses. That was me. I was just like, you know what? If I keep thinking like this, I'm not going to get anywhere. So I'm going to go into more details about what I actually did. The very first thing is I got more passionate by being around others who are studying, who want to study, someone who likes K-drama, K-pop, and that really helped me. Because when you're around people who are passionate and they want to study, then you're going to pick up their vibes and their motivation, and that's going to help you boost your own passion and motivation. I was actually shocked by how many foreigners around me who could actually speak Korean or who was interested in learning Korean. I was crazy shocked when I saw people obsessed about BTS and Blackpink and obsessed about K-drama. I actually live in Korea right now, and there are many foreigners who can speak Korean. It's not unusual these days for foreigners in Korea to be speaking fluent Korean. I mean, it's definitely possible to be able to speak it when you're in Korea, but it's also possible when you are back in the States. A lot of foreigners learn Korean so that they can pass the Tukbik test and get permanent residency in Korea because that's just how much they love it here. Another thing I did was I found someone to talk to in Korean, whether it was a study buddy. I used an app called Hello Talk, and I was able to chat with native speakers. Just on this app, you'll also see other people who are interested in learning Korean. I also searched for Korean people around me, Korean anything, Korean Mart, Korean churches, just anything around me that had Korean people. I just searched for it around me. Another thing I did was at the university, they had a language program, and the Koreans there had this project where they had to teach other people Korean, and in return I would teach them English, an exchange language, and it was super, super helpful. So make sure you check out your university language programs to see if they have anything like that available. If you can't find someone, try looking for a tutor online. I tried the cheapest tutor on Preply, and I think it was like $8 an hour. Since I was proactive about meeting my tutor, I feel like it was such a beneficial 1 hour. You could try yourself whenever you go meet your tutor to just make a list of questions like, oh, I learned this from K-drama, am I saying it right? Check your pronunciation, am I using it in the right context, and so forth. And now I have my own tutor, and I don't use Preply anymore since I live in Korea. If you have any questions, and if you can't afford a tutor, you can leave a comment, and then I will ask my tutor, and I will get back with you. Another thing I did to get over my slump was I actually visited Korea for about 2 weeks, and that was when I barely knew anything. And when I was there, I felt super motivated. I didn't really feel discouraged at that time as how I was feeling back in the States, because everything there is so like flashy and it's so cute and so like, wow, it's so upbeat, I guess, because everything there is so fast. So I felt really motivated to learn. And if you have that opportunity, I definitely feel that it's worth it to go visit Korea. It would definitely spark your motivation to study more Korean. When I came back home, I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna start out fresh. I'm gonna start out new. I am going to make better notes. And with my notes, instead of having like 10 and 15,000 notebooks that I already have, I decided to just go digital and use GoodNotes. And with GoodNotes, I would create like PDF files and then import it into GoodNotes and then take my notes on there because I could type it out. And I felt like typing it out helped me to memorize where the letters were on the keyboard. Also, when I typed it out, it just looked neater, and I felt like when it was neater and more organized, I felt more inspired to study. I created cute notes, and it was super effective because what I did was I started learning by grammar. I would take like a grammar point, whether it was like 있어요, 있냐요, 먹고 싶어요. I would take just like that grammar portion. I would study it and make more sample sentences. I would make a story, like a comic strip story, and then I would have like a conversation that I made. And then at the end, I will summarize what I learned. If I felt like I couldn't really summarize what I learned, then I felt like, you know what, I need to go back and study it. So at the bottom, I gave myself a little tracker, like how much did I really understand? And at the top, I put like how much time did it take me to actually study, to actually go through this page. I'm actually going to be going over them with my tutor, and we're going to record it so that we can upload it for future videos, so please stay tuned. I also created better study habits. My mind was everywhere. I have a million things on my mind, and if I didn't make a block of time just to study Korean, then I probably wouldn't study at all. I just had so many things I needed to do. What I did was I had this digital planner that I downloaded, which I will leave the link down below. What I did was every day at 8 p.m. I would just schedule that block of time just to study Korean. I mean, it didn't matter if I was studying a book or grammar or doing a K marathon. I just decided I'm going to do something in Korean, whatever it was. Even if it was like for 5 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever, however much time I had, I just spent that time studying Korean. I felt like if I really wanted to speak Korean, I needed to learn something Korean every single day. Another thing I changed was my desk area. My desk area was so messy before, and I had so many books piled up on my 30 Korean notebook. I just decided, you know what, I need to be simple, I need to be minimal, because I would find myself flipping through these books. So I got very minimal with what was on my desk. With my phone, I did have it with me, and it didn't really give me any kind of distraction because I use my phone for like a translator all the time, and so I felt like it was very efficient for me to have it like right on me, right beside me. Not only did I study like on my desk, but I gave myself a variety. I would study like at a coffee shop, I would study while watching TV, while sleeping, whatever it was. I gave myself variety in studying, because I feel that it's important and it's key to retaining what you learn. The more you hear in the different situations, the better you'll be able to just memorize it naturally by habit. I didn't force myself to study or memorize like a drill sergeant. I just kept listening and learning in different situations, and then I learned it naturally, and I could use it a phrase per situation. It's not perfect, but it's getting better and better. I got more organized, not only in my desk area, but in my notes. I felt like having 30 notebooks didn't really help me, so I decided to use GoodNotes, and I did it by grammar. And with every grammar section, I just did like summary and story and sample sentences, and I found that to be way easier. If I needed to go back and reference, like, how do I use 있어요? And then I would just find that grammar sheet, and then I had everything handy. I stopped thinking that it was impossible. I stopped thinking that I'm not improving. I stopped comparing myself to other people, thinking they're doing it at this rate and I'm not. Stop making excuses. That was me. I just kept making excuses for why I shouldn't learn Korean, because I was so tired and discouraged from not learning as fast as other people say that they can learn Korean. And I feel like, you know what, I just need to stop comparing myself to other people, because I'm me and you are you. You can, and you have the ability to do it. You have the ability to learn. Use the opportunity you have in this modern generation, because there are resources everywhere. Keep in mind that learning a language is never a waste of your time. And here are examples of my notes. You can download my cute beginner grammar notes down here, And this is just the beginning. I will actually go over these grammar notes with my tutor as like a lesson, and I would be uploading it, so please stay tuned. If there's something specific that you want to learn, please leave a comment. Once again, thanks for watching.